and we were able to figure out the application of this code, of the symbol, which was an encrypted blueprint or schematic to the secret of the universe. So we were able to apply it. The shocker was that it made a toroid, a donut, a sunflower, a vortex. And I discovered a language. It made me proficient in a language dealing with shears, harmonic boundary conditions, world boundary conditions. Nobody today really understands how significant to electrical engineering, to modeling diseases, is the principle of cleavage or shears. How knowing where the grain, where things can be stratified or broken up and torn apart, like everything has a hidden grain.
Mm-hmm.
And so I figured out how to use this grain in electricity to insulate it. Rubber is not an insulator for what I do. It's a joke. What I do is I create a harmonic forbidden zone. It's an electrical shear where I can touch two conductors together and they won't short circuit out, only because of the fact that I've created a harmonic wall, an insulator, a boundary condition.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't even exist in technology today, what I do. It's a whole other animal. And so the name of God, nobody could ever believe that it fashioned creation, that it made every solid thing to flow and then to be rejoined and united again, and at the beginning and end and the origin are the same, and it's all in the name of God. And so that's what I am. I'm a religious, modern-day mystic that applied, instead of applying technology to technology, I applied religious mysticism to technology. And that's why I'm the best, because I re-engineered, because I found that the name of God was the secret of creation, and I reverse-engineered the most great name of God. And thus I was able to know the secrets of creation.
I mean, the Egyptians, of course, they had their Ennead, the 9 gods, basically. And there is a lot of actually occult literature dealing with the 9 and, Plan 9 from outer space. No, but I mean, you have the entire... It seems to be kind of a common thread in a way that the 9 in that sense is related to something, and that religious people from the past knew this in any way. What I want to ask you is...
The religious people of the past, may we give them due regard and pay them proper homage, okay? The pyramid is 4 Rodin coils interlocked. It's not up on YouTube. It was done, again, by a professor at the university. I'll just say his name is Scott. I have the document here. I have never even put that up online.
Why not?
I'm so... Again, there's no excuse. If I had a webmaster, I would do it.
But I mean, so at this point you can't upload what is it? A Word document?
Well,
is it an image?
The answer is I've never taken the time and done it. I just have been looking at the whole picture and looking at all this data. So I lumped it together with so many other things. But he shows the mathematical value of the capstone. In fact, I don't mind that I'm going to look like a fool, but when he did this work, I'm very technical. I believe in scientific method. I believe in the approach of having controls and impartiality when you do a subject. This is a professor at the university, as famous as they come in plant pathology, on all the top boards of scientific research journals in plant disease and biology. And he's more wild and way out there than me. He went ahead and took a quote out of the Keys of Enoch, which was written by J.J. Hertek, and where it cites where he's taken up into space, and he sees this huge matrix of light, of rivers of flowing light and energy, and he says to the aliens in the spaceship, and I'm the last person to want to suggest that this is true. Unfortunately, he proves it's true. He says to the aliens, he says, what is this? And they explain to him that that's the grid. It's for energy throughout the universe. Anyway, he went and applied that grid because he became my student for so many classes, and he put so many years of work, and he learned my techniques, my modalities for how to use this math. And he unfolded from the center. He took this symbol with the numbers, he decrypted it, and it became a pyramid. And I never thought in my life I would ever see that the Rodin Abha torus, that this mathematical torus pattern that I have, this would ever make a pyramid. I didn't know the interconnection. I learned something too. It was a tremendous gratification for me, and a huge reward to see other people make breakthroughs and discoveries that I never would have ever even embarked upon or done in my lifetime. And it's a very important, profound, another key component to this discovery. So, but he's made so many other discoveries. Again, he did the Philitaxis prime number sieve, how to predict primes. There's too many discoveries. As Farron, he predicted, he figured out why the base 9, base 10 system makes a torus. It's just it isn't that I got one thing to put up. It's that I probably got about a gigabyte of data to put up.
Sure, but I mean,
look at the photos I sent you alone. I sent you how many photos? 50?
I don't know. I think probably 150 or something like that, I think.
That's
but I mean, Marko,
let's from one simple presentation.
Sure, but I mean, let's take one step at a time here. I mean, for instance, if you're willing
I have a problem there. I think too big. I have to confess. If
you're willing to share with us, I'd love if you can send me the paper or document or image or whatever it might be that explains this with the pyramid and the coils, and send it via email to me, and I'll get it up on our website in relation to this interview,
Okay, watch this. Give me 1 second. What were you saying?
I just wanted to ask you because I saw a video a while back by a guy called Itzhak Bentov. Have you heard of his work and seen it at all?
But I can't even critique or review most people's work anyway, because I can be sometimes very scathing and very harsh, and I leave nothing standing.
No, I mean, it's just that it reminded me a lot in relation to, he talks about the Hebrew letters, the code, quote unquote, behind these, and also about actually a lot of the toroids that you're talking about. So I'm just curious to know if all
roads lead to Rome. Everybody ends up with the same result.
Exactly.
The only thing is nobody does it in the same way as I do it, and nobody has the mathematical explanation. I mean, there's a person who lives in Hawaii who moved here just to work with me. He could make any device. He wants to make all these devices with my work. He's a master electrical mechanical engineer. He goes by the name Lazar, and he quit his job at the biggest clearinghouse in the world, New Energy Symposiums. He was their technical expert, and they reason he quit it was because I sent them my book. I asked them to do a peer review on my discovery. They gave it to him, and he spent 6 months not only critiquing it or reviewing it, but he actually was able to prove it was true and apply it. He said I was the first one. He says many people have made things that work, but he said I was the first one to ever have a mathematical explanation of it as well. Oh wow, I really have been thorough of what I just sent you. I didn't necessarily mean. I never. There will be some things that aren't explained, but I'm going to do this. I'm going to take the liberty of. You have my permission. I'm going to do this on the behalf of Scott to put the whole thing that I sent you up online. It includes a picture of him as well, and it's very, very profound and beautiful, the work. So I think what we can do is we can put it up, and then if he wants me to take it down, if he feels offended and uncomfortable with it, we'll take it down. You have my permission to put the entire thing up, because I think it's very flattering to him. I think he deserves it. I think he should be proud of it. The only thing I'm going to ask you to remove is if you see any of his emails in it, and any contact information.
Okay. First of all, this is a PDF. Is this an open PDF, meaning that I can edit it?
I think so, because I never encrypt anything.
Okay.
So it should be, and technically, there's always ways to just extract or pull things out of it.
Sure.
Even if you had to do screenshots. But
well, exactly. I probably dump the text or something like that over to HTML or something like that.
Yeah, I'm sure it's open. I try and make things so people can carry forward the work and do their own thing with it. And
sure.
I don't try and hold on to stuff.
This is going to be very interesting to dive into and look more at. So thank you for that. And just as you said, just let me know if there's something, if we need to take it down again, or if there's something more specific, that needs to be removed.
Of course, then if they're going to want more information, to put a link to markorodin.com.
Sure, sure.
Everything here is going to be over everybody's heads, but that won't hinder them from getting a good idea.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to send you two more things. I don't know if we've revived it. We've done some revisions since then, but I'm not going to worry about it. So I will give you two more things that you can put next to it, too.
Perfect, perfect.
Okay. Only because of the fact that if we wait for me to do it, it's not going to happen this year. The rate I'm going.
Sure.
Okay, Fred.
Sure.
You're going to see why I complain and why I like to wait and why I say there has to be a certain level of quality,
Mm-hmm.
of excellence, of accuracy in presentation,
Mm-hmm.
the kind of effort that went into these type of documents.
Mm-hmm.
Scott was asked to be an associate dean of the university. He has a level of proficiency of quality of academia. You know, he's a PhD top professor.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
10 times over. You'll see. It'll speak for itself. I just sent you the last of stuff.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's going to be interesting looking more at that. Hey, you know, let's talk a little bit about. You mentioned a little bit earlier about the yin and yang. That's a pretty interesting story behind that. I mean, it's a very old, ancient symbol. Would you like to, in your work, or have you found a way to kind of revise that symbol, or what's your take on it?
Okay. Well, the yin and yang, also the enneagram, which is a classic, a part of our culture. It's entrenched in society as a cult. It means they typically mean they're associated with martial arts, they're associated with health, vitality, life, and other symbols. What I do is I kind of like been a puppy mill. I take existing things and I then show what the real hidden significance is,
Mm-hmm.
what the real mystery behind them is.
Mm-hmm.
The yin and yang is, everybody thinks it's a duality. It's not a duality at all. The third part of the yin and yang is the S-curve in the middle, which is represented by the number 9.
Mm-hmm.
Once you learn this vortex-based mathematics, you discover, the mathematical significance of God, you see that the number 9 always separates 3 and 6, that they never touch. 3 and 6 are the yin and yang. They're constant oscillating, dancing.
Mm-hmm.
3 doubled is 6, 6 doubled is 12, 12 doubled is 24 equals 6, 24 doubled equals 48, which equals 12, which equals 3, 48 doubled is 96, which equals 50 and 6. But what you don't see is their source or control, the third part, the S-curve in the middle, which is the number 9. When 9's positive, 3 and 6 are both negative. When 9's negative, 3 and 6 are both positive. The enneagram is the surface of the torus, counter-diagonally. I call it and just counter-diagonally will do it.
Sure.
And that is a part of the torus skin. That is not organized, or I would send you that. That really needs to be presented to
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because the Fibonacci series, I show that.
Mm-hmm.
God, there's a lot of bad dated, out of dated. Let me hold on for 1 second.
Sure.
Let me see here. Yeah. So the enneagram, I don't think I could send that, but let me see. I'll send. I'll send it, and then you can send it back to me and ask me if I'll approve it to go up, and at which point I don't think I will,
Mm-hmm.
because it needs to be properly presented,
Mm-hmm.
explained.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll send you the raw diagrams without any explanation.
Sure.
It's got to be the most poorly explained of my work because it's so difficult.
Mm.
But the shocker is, the truth is, if I walked you through it, is that the Enneagram is an encrypted part. It's a part of it. It's a template of the torus.
Mm-hmm.
They're inseparable from one another. They're inextricably one and the same.
Okay.
Part of each other. Okay, give me a second here. I'm looking something up. So that's kind of what I do. It's kind of like climbing Mount Everest. You do it because